What began as a prison sentence triggered by a controversial tweet has now developed into a far more troubling situation. A recent revelation from within HMP Peterborough has caused shock among both supporters and critics of the inmate, raising serious concerns about the fairness of the justice system, potential political interference, and the treatment of prisoners in modern-day Britain. Before we continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content. The case of Lucy Connolly, a former childminder currently serving a 2.5-year sentence for a contentious social media post, has taken a new turn that has reignited public debate. Richard Tice, deputy leader of Reform UK, has alleged that Connolly is visibly bruised and emotionally distressed after reportedly being violently dragged by prison staff. This incident has sparked a fresh wave of outrage and renewed calls for meaningful reform of the criminal justice system. According to Tice, who visited Connolly last Tuesday at Peterborough Prison, she was aggressively restrained, tightly handcuffed, and dragged up several flights of stairs by multiple officers without any clear justification. The injuries from this incident, he claims, were still apparent 5 days later. Even more concerning was her subsequent transfer to a prison wing designated for high-risk offenders, where she is now being held under a 23-hour-a-day lockdown, conditions many regard as excessively harsh. Tice argues that this extreme treatment is yet another example of the politically motivated nature of Connolly's imprisonment. He maintains that her situation stems from a justice system that now appears to operate on double standards, effectively making her a political detainee. Her sentence was based on a tweet posted in the aftermath of the Southpaw killings, in which she called for immediate mass deportations and made inflammatory remarks about migrant accommodation. Although her statements were undoubtedly provocative, many legal experts believe the punishment handed down was grossly disproportionate. Tice has described Connolly as a model inmate who has demonstrated good behavior during her time in custody. Nevertheless, he asserts that her fundamental rights have been disregarded. Requests for temporary leave on compassionate grounds have been denied, and her abrupt placement in a high-security unit remains unexplained, further fueling suspicions of politically motivated retaliation. In light of this, Richard Tice has announced plans to introduce a legislative proposal known as Lucy's Law, aimed at establishing safeguards against excessive or politically influenced sentencing. Under this initiative, if 500 or more members of the public believe a sentence is clearly unjust, a triple review mechanism would be triggered to reassess the case. The bill is set to be presented under the 10-minute rule, a rarely used but symbolically significant parliamentary procedure that allows backbench MPs to propose legislation. While the likelihood of the bill becoming law remains uncertain, Tice emphasized that the primary goal is to draw attention to the broader issue of selective justice. He reiterated that many MPs have not forgotten Lucy, and that this initiative could, in time, form part of the legacy of her case. Supporters argue that Connolly's conviction sets a dangerous precedent, where political views and personal opinions are being criminalized under the guise of maintaining public order. Barrister James Bogle BL has also condemned the ruling, labeling it manifestly disproportionate. He noted that individuals involved in far more serious offenses, such as violent disorder and group assaults, have received significantly lighter sentences. Bogle warned that when punishments begin to defy the logic and common sense of the average citizen, the credibility of the justice system is placed in serious jeopardy. This latest development, coupled with the reported mistreatment Connolly has endured while in custody, has intensified demands for accountability, transparency, and reform. As the upcoming debate on Lucy's Law approaches, her case is rapidly becoming emblematic of a larger struggle over free speech, judicial overreach, and what many are now calling the weaponization of the legal system to suppress dissenting voices. In other news, Councillor David Buckley, a representative of the Reform UK party, has levelled strong criticism at the Labour Party, accusing it of manipulating data related to asylum applications. His comments come following the release of official figures indicating that over 50,000 individuals whose asylum claims have been rejected are still residing in hotels across the United Kingdom, accommodation paid for with public funds. According to data provided by the government, as of March this year, a total of 50,976 asylum appeals remained unresolved. Of those, more than 30,000 individuals continued to be housed in hotel facilities. Buckley, who serves the areas of Dacres, Horton and Raspberry, warned that the actual number of asylum seekers still present in the UK could well exceed 200,000, all supported by taxpayer money. Outlining the situation in his own constituency, Buckley reported that just 2 weeks ago, a group of asylum seekers was removed from a local hotel. He noted that this is the second time in 3 years that the same hotel has been used to accommodate migrants, first under conservative leadership and now under Labour, highlighting the ongoing impact on the local community, which he warned could easily recur. In a recent interview, the extensive backlog of unresolved asylum cases was brought to the forefront, prompting growing concern among the public. The notion that individuals with rejected claims can remain in the UK for months, or even years, at taxpayers' expense has sparked widespread alarm, especially given that the UK already has one of the highest initial approval rates for asylum claims in Europe. Buckley recalled that in 2023, around 150,000 people were awaiting asylum processing, while only 15,000 cases were being handled each year. At that pace, it would have taken a decade just to clear the existing backlog, without accounting for new arrivals since then. He expressed skepticism over the government's figures, suggesting that the real numbers may be far higher. Combining the 50,000 pending appeals with an estimated 150,000 cases yet to be processed, Buckley estimated that well over 200,000 individuals could currently be receiving public support. Asked about the housing situation in his constituency, Buckley revealed that approximately 3 years ago, there were between 3,500 and 4,000 people on the waiting list for social housing. That figure does not include those in informal or precarious living arrangements, such as people sleeping on sofas or staying with friends or relatives. In that context, he pointed out that his local council has managed to build just 6 new social housing units in the past decade. Buckley suggested that the central government should directly fund local authorities specifically to build social housing, with a clear focus on serving long-standing residents rather than newly arrived migrants. In his view, such a policy could resolve the housing crisis for local families almost overnight. In response, the Home Office issued a statement acknowledging that it inherited an asylum system under extraordinary pressure. It stated that it makes no apologies for taking urgent and necessary action to restore order, including increasing decision-making capacity and removing nearly 30,000 individuals who had no legal right to remain in the UK. The figures and allegations put forward by Councillor Buckley paint a stark picture of a migration system that is overwhelmed and slow-moving, leading to mounting frustration over its financial burden, operational scale, and lack of efficiency. As concerns grow around unresolved claims and ongoing housing shortages, the debate surrounding immigration, institutional accountability, and government transparency is likely to remain a central issue in Britain's political landscape. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's report. Feel free to share your opinion in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates on the issues shaping the UK. See you in the next video.